Hi guys, this is Becky with South by Texas State, and we're sitting down with John Muehlbauer. John has over 18 years of interactive experience, and he's going to be speaking on the first day of the conference on the perks of being a South by Southwest newbie. Hi John, thanks for sitting down with us.
Hey Rebecca, nice to be here.
So how many times have you attended Interactive?
Well, this year will be my 19th, so I have done 18 years in the past, so it's been, and some of that was as a volunteer, as a staff member, as a registered, as a meetup facilitator, this year as a panelist. Sometimes I've done it without a badge and just seen what I could do without it, as a guerrilla marketer, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I've kind of seen all aspects of the festival.
What's changed over the years that you've been attending?
I'd have to say the biggest thing is scope, because when it first started out, it was more, I would say, tech innovative, and now it's more creative innovative, I would say, where it's more to get the juices flowing for what's going to be coming up. Not that there wasn't creative innovation before, but it was more, well, let's just say you really had to know what you were talking about before. This time you can be more of a theorist, I guess, is what I'd like to put it as.
Awesome. You obviously have, a wealth of knowledge to share with newcomers. Do you really think there are perks to being a South by Southwest newbie?
Absolutely, because the first time you go, I think it's kind of the first time I'm doing a lot of things is sometimes the most memorable, and whether you take it out as good or bad, it's an experience that you'll never forget. And some will attend the festival the first time and not get what they want out of it, and that's kind of where I like to be the buffer in between that. So it's kind of help them open their eyes up to make sure that they're getting the experiences that they should be getting, instead of just going around like, wow, there's so much going on and people keep handing me drinks and I just woke up 3 hours late and I missed all the panels and everything. And it can be really overwhelming. And I think I just really want to help everybody make their first time coming to this conference the best it can be for them, so that they want to come back and they want to contribute and they want to be one of those people that can be a connector to others.
So the first time, definitely going to be super memorable, but like with the prep work and with a little bit of help from those in the know, do you think that it's capable to have like a much more elevated experience to get more out of the conference?
I think so. The biggest thing is you want to kind of plan, but you want to be able to be open-minded enough to deviate from your plan. The nice thing about having a good plan, so you can kind of at least see, it's like, all right, I want to do this, this, and this on day one, and I want to see this panel, I want to go to this speaker, I'm going to try to make this networking event. And if you do have a set plan, it's great, but sometimes people get so caught up in this, I have to do these things, that they miss the great opportunities that are presented. You might be sitting next to someone who is creating this next wave of evolution in social media or in a new programming language. You just don't know who you're sitting next to. Or you could be, charging your phone at one of the lounges, and it could be making great connections that could actually help you grow your business or your idea. And that's the experiences that people need to really be aware of, is just not the conference itself, the things that are going on around them.
So what are some of the most common mistakes that you see rookies make when they get to Interactive?
The number one, not drinking enough water.
Really?
Yeah, it sounds kind of silly, but water is probably my number one rule for everybody, because what's interesting is you're always going to find a free drink in your hand at one point. You're never going to find water. And it's just making the time to it's a marathon, not a sprint. That old adage that everybody likes to say about certain things, it definitely applies to South by Southwest Interactive. Another thing that is when people sticking to the plan, is the biggest thing to do at South by Southwest is not to pitch, not be someone that's constantly pitching an idea. It's like, hey, did you get my card? Here's my app. Hey, did you hear about my app? I was calling this. It's kind of like that one guy at the party that just talks about themselves. Nobody really listens. South by is the best time to make connections. You can have those discussions later, and these people get to know you a little bit more, and they're more open to listening to the next step of what you want to talk to. But yeah, definitely another big mistake is pitching right off the bat.
Yeah. Is there something that you think that across the board, newcomers are like really surprised by something that they just didn't think that they would experience when they get there?
To being able to pretty much walk up to anyone and be able to have a conversation with them. The access that you can have with certain individuals. Now, certain panelists, and certain big speakers, they kind of whisk them off to a little bit of room, but usually you will run into them at one point or another, and just have a conversation with them. You could be at a barbecue party at Brush Square Park or Nuclear Taco that are checking out, or they could be just, trying to send an email. Obviously, knowing the right time to talk to someone is the right thing to know. But the best part is all these people are kind of here. They're intermingling. So you could be talking to, a VP designer at Google, or, one of the business developers over at Twitter that you normally could not get a meeting with or anything with, but during South by, you can just have a casual conversation, exchange a card, saying, keep in contact later. It's a good way to build those relationships right then and there, where normally you would never have access to this, because if you go to a different conference or you're just trying to set up meetings, you still have that buffer, and that buffer's kind of missing during South by.
If you had to give just a couple more, like, what do we need to succeed? This is as much for our audience as the team.
Meet as many people as you can, but it's not just to meet, hey, nice to meet you, hey, nice to meet you, hey, nice to meet you. Start conversations with people. If you need to walk away from it, let's say if you meet some great people, blow the rest of your day off. Try to spend some time with that person. If they want to spend time with you also, obviously, just don't, follow them. But build those connections. That's the whole point of it. I've had a day where I've run into someone, run into a panel that I've been looking forward to for 6 months, like, oh, I can't wait to see the speaker. And they'll have a conversation waiting to get inside and decides, like, hey, I'd rather talk to this person than see this panel I've been waiting for, because I think that we could have some things in common, and maybe, peers or something could help us build something, or we're going to build something together. You just don't know. And sometimes it's better to foster those relationships than trying to, maybe learn something. And that's the nice thing about South by too, is you can get a lot of this information somewhere else. It's all kind of right there. It's this big smorgasbord of things, but it's not the only place you can find all this stuff. It's just the only place that brings it all together. And because it brings all that information, those panels together, you have those people. And the people are the most important part of South by. Without the people that are attending South by Southwest, it wouldn't be what it is. It's all about people making those connections and meeting new ones. And that is, I probably have to say that's tip 1 through 10. That's the most important thing I could honestly tell anybody besides hydration.
Thank you so much for giving us some of your tips, and I can't wait to check out your panel because I'm going to need it.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, John. See you soon.
All right. You have a good day. Bye-bye.